Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Thomas. Tonight we're back here with the Kill Count. Tonight we are here with recount of the 1991 Child's Play 3. So yeah, this is the third of the Chucky franchise and the last that would actually go under the Child's Play name. Because after this, it's usually just of Chucky. You know, Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, Curse of Chucky, Cult of Chucky, and then the Chucky TV series. Don't worry, we will be covering all that. Just need to find the time. Anyway, so on to the third one, aka Military School. So be sure to like, subscribe for more. Hope you enjoy. Let's go. And nothing else. Here we go.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Child's Play 3, released in 1991. Because of Chucky's massive popularity, Universal expressed interest in a third movie before the second was even done filming. Creator Don Mancini was writing the script before Child's Play 2 was released, and this third film ended up coming out a mere 10 months after the second. 10 months is not a lot of time to go from script to screen. Perhaps because of how soon it came out after Part 2, Child's Play 3 has the lowest grossing box office of the franchise. It's also Don Mancini's least favorite installment.
I think generally thought of to be as the fans' least favorite. Sometimes that vies with Seed of Chucky, but they're wrong.
To his credit, he blames the movie's faults mostly on his own screenplay.
That's me valiantly taking responsibility for the failure of Child's Play 3.
5 years ago, I ranked it as last in the franchise, and it might still hold that position for me. But I no longer dislike the movie, I just don't like it very much. It's not awful, but it's heavily weighed down by the boring setting and premise. A military academy, which feels like the most first draft early 90s idea. Every part of this place is uninspired and stereotypical, with a lot of the characters nothing more than thin archetypes. It's one thing to pay homage to other movies, it's another to take their exact dialogue.
This is my rifle. This is my gun. This is for shooting, and this is for fun.
While the first two films take place in the years they were released, 1988 and 1990, Child's Play 3 jumps ahead to a fictional 1998, strangely lacking in Jinko genes, in order to age up Andy Barclay.
You're a new boy, huh?
Andy's new actor Justin Whalen is good, as is most of the rest of the cast. The first and final acts, taking place outside the military academy, are pretty solid. And of course, the movie's biggest strength is the same as it ever was, Chucky the Killer Doll. Child's Play 3 continues the character's baby crawl towards comedy, with one-liners a much higher percentage of his dialogue.
Presto.
You're dead.
I'm new and improved. Don't fuck with the Chuck.
It works though, because of Brad Dourif's devoted voice acting, and because Chucky's still a nasty villain. Just ask the kids who thought they were playing paintball. Overall, this is a lesser entry in a remarkably strong franchise. There are definitely worse things to be. Now let's 10 up and hidey-ho ourselves to the kills. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, I get it. The 10 hut, hidey ho. Chucky doll. And honestly, I mean, I get the military school because, you know, Andy's still probably going, oh, crazy doll or something. But still, again, can't really have the cop on your side since no cops. Ouch. So, yeah, poor Andy. Life's just turned to shit. But, I had to say it. So, let's see what kind of mayhem happens at the military academy in Child's Play 3. Let's go!
The movie begins with an 8-year late cleanup of Chucky's mess from Child's Play 2. Talk about procrastination. Chucky's jelly-filled voodoo donut corpse is snatched up by the Claw! His blood dribbles into a vat of molten plastic, being prepared to make new good guys. That kind of careless contamination is exactly how you get new killer dolls. Come on, guys, it's like you're on the voodoo curse's side. Before you can say biohazard, the goo bubbles and swirls into delicious strawberry milk. This was the last shot in Mancini's original script for the first movie. Now it's been recycled to lead into a title card. It's been nearly a decade since the killer doll controversies, so PlayPals Inc. is preparing to put good guy dolls back on the market. The decision comes from Mr. Sullivan, the same CEO from the last film, who had interesting ideas about toy storage.
Stick it up your ass.
I like the continuity of seeing the same guy in charge, and the underlining that this dude's a complete asshole.
Andy Barclay is ancient history. No one remembers him. Nobody cares.
Don Mancini cast Peter
Okay.
Haskell as Sullivan as a way of saying thank you. Years earlier, Mancini was a low-level crew member on the soap opera Search for Tomorrow. Haskell was an actor on it and went out of his way to be nice to Mancini. A new lackey,
thanks, bro.
borrowed from the Clamp Cable Network, gives Mr. Sullivan the first good guy off the line. We already know this mofo's infected with a bit of that Charles Lee Ray. Of course, an entire vat of plastic would have been used for making more than one doll. If you're like me, you were probably wondering why this didn't give us multiple Chuckies. Turns out
mean,
that
we
was
wouldn't get that
Mancini's original
cold.
idea, but budgetary constraints kept it from being a reality. As with many of Don's ideas, he'd recycle it later in glorious fashion. Sullivan takes the doll.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think they would have been able to make like multiple animatronics like they did with Cult. Remember, this is only 1991, so not a lot of advancements in, animatronics. And like, if you imagine like the hard times they had in the, last Child's Play, like the first one, I mean. Now imagine having to do that with multiples. Like, jeez, that would just blow the budget out of the water. Like, think about it. So, honestly, not sure why Don wanted that. I think I would have just been like, okay, maybe something else. I don't know. Maybe you could have just fallen in one of the bowls, not the vat. And that's how I would have seen it, That way we still have one Chucky running around instead of like a potentially a whole army of them with that giant vat. I mean, hindsight 2020 and all. Moving along.
Doll back to his penthouse, apartment? Is this an office or where he lives? Either way, looks like
Could
a
be either
sad
or.
life for a grown-ass man. But I guess he is rich. So rich, the anchors on the Money Channel wait to speak until he's turned on the TV.
Well, despite a downdraft in the bond market,
All of his age-inappropriate generic toys come to life to haunt and or taunt him. Clearly it's Chucky causing all of this, running the full Toys R Us offensive on this guy. Not even tiny Frank Drebin can save him. The toying around is capped off with two good guys talking to each other like a couple of dueling talking Carls.
Hi, my name is Larry. Hi, my name is Polly. I like to be hugged. I like to be hugged.
Which one's the real boy though? Probably the one with a mean slice and a potty mouth.
Don't fuck with the Chuck.
Just like that, we're back in action, with Chucky quipping and killing like he does best. Our Brad Dourif on golf lessons quickly switches to darts as the Chuckster becomes a chucker.
Bullseye.
The CEO is permanently KO'd by a yo-yo, the good guy walking the dog around his neck. Chucky hops on AIM and looks up Andy's sub-profile and learns that he's headed to the Kent Military School for juvenile delinquents who can't spell good. Andy's now 16 and has been bouncing around the foster system, just like Kyle tried to prepare him for. None of his foster families have worked out, so now he's at Kent Academy. It's run by Colonel Cochran, who tells Andy it's time to throw Woody away.
So here's my advice. Grow up. You're not a kid anymore.
Hell, you don't even look like the same person you were a movie ago. Because Child's Play 3 jumps 8 years into the future, the 10-year-old Alex Vincent was replaced with the 17-year-old Justin Whalen, who would later be in Serial Mom. Stay tuned.
Serial Mom?
Inspired
That's a
by
thing?
Damien Omen 2, Mancini thought an older Andy would help freshen things up. Alex Vincent will always be the OG Andy Barkley, but Whalen does a
Well, you
great
come back,
job
cousin.
acting from beneath that head of 90s hair. Resident barber Sergeant Botnick's an absolute freak about hair though, so those locks aren't long for this world.
We're seeing some skin now, aren't we?
Presto. You're bald.
Sweeney Odd here just likes to keep it clean and cut, doesn't want anything dirty or hairy. During his cut, Andy sees a Good Guy Dolls commercial, giving him some PTSD to go along with his Schwarzenegger flat top.
I've just come from the Good Guy Clubhouse, and I'll be your friend to the end. You will?
That child
Okay, the
soldier
90s
shitting himself
slow-mo,
over a doll commercial
wow.
is Tyler, one of the cadets Andy meets at this drab military school. Andy's roommate is Whitehurst, who's so nerdy he comes pre-shoved in his locker.
welcome to hell, Barkley.
The place's bully is Lieutenant Colonel Shelton, who immediately marks Andy as fresh meat.
That's Lieutenant Colonel Shelton to you, asshole.
And finally, there's Kristen De Silva. She's not part of Shelton's entourage, and don't put up with his shit.
I said you asshole, sir!
De Silva immediately piques Andy's interest, because she's almost as good at push-ups as she is bad at standing up after them. Since Tyler's too little for a Shelton shellacking, he's given random tasks, like bringing Andy a package from the post office. After Ace Venturaing it down the hallway and ripping its wrapping paper open, he spots the Good Guy logo within and claims the doll for himself. Before playtime
You
can
can't really
begin,
do that?
Chucky decreases his value by taking himself out of the box.
Who the fuck are you?
I thought you guys only said 3 sentences.
I'm new and improved.
I've come around to liking this movie a little more than I used to, but it still feels like Tyler's too old to be acting the way he does. It's one of Mancini's issues too.
I think that Jeremy Silvers, who was a great actor, I think he was just patently too old for the role.
Then again, I always assumed that Tyler was 10 years old, but doing the math, Jeremy Silvers had yet to turn 8 when production began, and a deleted scene has him telling Andy that he's 8.5. This is roughly Andy's age in Child's Play 2. So maybe it's some kind of internal bias that has me thinking he's too old to be playing with dolls. Or maybe it's cause he's already got an Atari freaking Lynx. Whatever age he...
Yeah, I mean, if that was nowadays, that'd be a Steam Deck or a Switch at least. And also, yeah, begs the question, what'd Tyler do to go and get there? Like, seriously, from what we've seen, he's either 8 or 10. Like, Jesus Christ, was he misbehaving that badly? Like, seriously, like, we know Andy's there because people are thinking, oh, you're crazy, there's no such thing as killer dolls, and all that, right? But Tyler? He seems like a sweet kid. What the hell kind of parents did he have? Or at least, what is his life like outside of the academy? The hell? Anyway.
Chucky's happy to possess his body. The bad good guy realizes that with a new doll body, the voodoo rules might have a little Charles leeway. He reveals his true identity to Tyler, making him technically eligible for the body swap. Does that make sense logically? I don't know. Close enough, I guess. That means close enough counts in horseshoes, hand grenades, and one more age game.
Hide the soul.
But not Hungry Hungry Hippos. Chucky wastes no time earning his incantation commendation, but as soon as the forecast calls for Gozer, Cochran interrupts the ceremony.
What are you doing, Tyler?
Sir, committing mail fraud and playing with dolls, sir!
We don't play with dolls, do we now, Tyler? Dolls are for girls.
Gilmore Girls? Mancini set this movie in a military school to avoid doing a conventional high school setting. He also wanted to comment on old school notions about gender, and have Chucky go up against a bunch of authority figures. Exteriors of Kemp Academy were filmed at Kemper Military School in Boonville, Missouri, while many interior shots were done on stages at Universal. And he's already trying to Barkley his way up De Silva's tree. His shooting skills leave a lot to be desired, but De Silva might be turned on by incompetence, cause she recreates the pottery scene from Ghost with him.
Hold your breath. Squeeze the trigger, don't pull it.
Careful now, Andy. Don't misfire. Maintain that trigger control. Perry Reeves was excited to play what she called a 10th grade version of Sarah Connor. She even opted to do some one-arm push-ups herself instead of having a stunt double do them.
I remember I was able to do a couple of them before I couldn't do any more.
With De Silva around, Shelton's bullshit might be tolerable, but Andy's reminded that he's in another Chucky movie when he sees Arlie Ermish taking out the trash.
In slow motion.
Chucky's thrown away and winds up in the back of a garbage truck where he acts like a kid to trick the driver into helping him. Poor dude gets punished for being a real good guy when the garbage pail kid turns on the trash compactor and giant spike wheel.
Why is that in there?
Garbage trucks been medieval torture devices this whole time? I respect sanitation workers even more now. Shame about this one though. All he wanted was a high five. As the cadets finish their nightly chores of shoe polishing and knife staring, Andy thinks back to a few years ago when he was 6. Wonder if his hot mom is still institutionalized. While he's reminiscing, Chucky shows up and slashes at his kicks. Not the Nikes! By this point, Chucky doesn't give a shit about explaining how he's alive again.
You just can't keep a good guy down.
No further questions. Proceed.
Chucky's gonna be a bro.
Okay, slow it down, Charles. Andy gets worried Chucky might say something more offensive, so he gets just into wailing on that doll. Shelton, the Full Metal Jackoff, catches him playing rough and confiscates the Cabbage Patch Kid. Later that night, Andy goes hunting to give Chucky the blue knife special. Instead, he gets embarrassed in front of Shelton again.
What are you doing in my room, Barkley?
Sir, I got lost on my way to college! Sir! As punishment, Shelton puts the entire regiment on Ring Around the Rosie detail, and Andy's classmates hate Ring Around the Rosie. Come on, guys, we're all supposed to fall down. Chucky attempts to possess Tyler again, only to find out the kid wants to play a different game.
Come and find me.
Damn it.
He corners the kid in Colonel Cochran's closet. De Silva and her friend Ivers are spending girls' night breaking into Cochran's office to look at Andy's permanent record. Before they get to the juicy doll murder stuff, they hear Tyler cuddling too hard in the closet. Ivers mocks the boy within an inch of his life, but De Silva humors him by asking the doll its name.
Hi, I'm Chucky, and I'm your friend to the end. Heidi ho!
She gets so tickled by the classic line that she puts lipstick on Chucky poorly. Tyler doesn't understand either.
Don't, he looks stupid.
He's obviously a winter, not a spring. They hear Cochran a coming, so they ditch the makeup tutorial and flee. The only thing the Colonel finds is a sexy, sexy doll. Would you hug me? I'd hug me. Chucky tries for an emotional appeal.
I like to be hugged.
But Cochran's not one to get all touchy-feely, so he throws him away like so much deadwood. He's on his way back to Wisteria Lane when Chucky jumps out for a lipstick knife sticking. Cochran is so shocked.
Yeah.
He has a fatal heart attack, robbing Chucky of a fun kill.
Aw, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
He falls into a
Yep,
display of
sorry,
torso,
Chucky, you got
hosted
kill
by his
blocked.
own miniature petards. This heart attack death was meant to be more comical because Cochran was supposed to be a much more aggressive asshole character. Mancini wrote him to be like R. Lee Ermey in Full Metal Jacket.
That archetype of that screaming drill sergeant archetype. That's what that character was supposed to be.
He thinks the role was miscast when it went to Dakin Matthews, a friend of Child's Play 3's director, Jack Bender. Jack Bender was hired by producer David Kirshner based on his TV special movie, Dreamer of Oz. Bender didn't have a lot of credits back then, but he'd go on to be an amazingly accomplished TV director. Dude directed 4 Sopranos episodes, tons of Lost episodes, including the series finale, and some episodes of Game of Thrones, including the Hodor one. Cochran's death interrupts the cadets in their flash mob practice. They can't believe the old man is gone.
Man lives through 2 tours in Nam, and then one night he just drops dead.
Cochran could handle Charlie, but he couldn't handle Chucky. I think that means canonically, Chucky is scarier than the Vietnam War. They have a moment of silence.
Like, yeah, that has to be like true. Like, seriously. Like, he sees the kill doll, and yet this guy's been through Nam. He was like, that, damn. That's a bad way to go. I can imagine, like, him arriving up in, I don't know where, but can you imagine, like, him talking to, like, all the other dead soldiers? Like, so, how'd you die? Took a bullet in the head. You? What about you? You got scared by a doll? Like, I can imagine that happening. Anyone else? Anyway.
At breakfast and say they'll hold their upcoming war games in Cochran's honor. Andy tries to warn Tyler that Chucky's not a good friend, but the kid's too swayed by marketing.
Charles isn't bad. He's a good guy. It says so on his shirt.
Sergeant Botnick makes his rounds and schedules Whitehurst for an immediate haircut.
Presto. You're bald.
Botnick is played by the versatile Andrew Robinson. Last seen on the Kill Count,
Hellraiser.
2 very different personalities in Hellraiser. He's so delightfully deranged in this role that he seems a little out of place in the film. But honestly, I wish the rest of Child's Play 3 was on his level. His mania is this movie's best asset.
Monday, Fabrizio.
Yes, sir.
During production, Mancini was worried that Robinson played the character too over the top. Afterward, he realized how great the performance is.
He's a highlight of the movie.
Botnick gives his nose hairs a fade, then discovers a stowaway in one of his cabinets. Like any rational adult, he decides to give the doll a trim. But Buzzcut Chucky's gonna have to wait until Cult. Right now, the barber gets slayed with a straight-edge throat slit by Chucky Copperfield.
Presto! You're dead.
This kill was inspired by Mancini's love of Sweeney Todd and uses a prosthetic made
Benjamin
by makeup
Barker!
artist Ed Reardon. This dude seems awesome from the Shout Factory Blu-ray interview. He said he almost did the makeup for Child's Play 1 until he realized he wouldn't be doing any Chucky effects.
It would have been making up, you know, the human beings, which is the basic bread and butter of makeup artists, but fuck that, you know, I wanted to do Chucky, and okay, if you got Chucky, then thank you, but I'll see you later.
Chucky laughs his plastic ass off until Whitehurst walks back in. It's not what you think. Boo! Alright.
Whitehurst, run!
Whitehurst can't handle the truth and keeps the killer doll crazy talk to himself as the entire school prepares to engage in, let me hear it, Mr. Regal,
War Games!
A sergeant explains the rules by mercilessly killing a door. Ha, just kidding. That door is fine. He's only shooting paint. Just kidding about just kidding. Because Chucky's upping the arsenal with live ammunition. Pretty dexterous for a dude with plastic baby fingers. The cadets do-wah-diddy march into the woods to earn their stripes. They split into 2 different warring factions, with Blue Squad making camp at Site B. But Andy's too worried about Tyler to enjoy De Silva's submission for approval to the Midnight Society. Before she can get to the tail of the ghastly grinner, Andy runs into the woods, and she decides to follow. Ooh, watch those sparks, you two. Don't want to piss off Smokey the Bear, because that dude's fucking shredded now. Did y'all know that? They share a moment looking out at the world's most inconveniently located fairgrounds.
Almost forgot there were places like that.
Nice little tragic reminder of the childhood Andy Barclay was robbed of. The last time he was filled with any kind of wonder, his best friend tried to kill him. Twice. You go ride that Ferris wheel, kid. Or smooch that gal. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Ways, why
Even
not?
Chucky supports this game of tonsil hockey. Andy blows his makeout sesh by remembering that Tyler's in danger. Come on, Andy. You survived 2 whole movies with Chucky. Tyler can handle himself for another 10 minutes, 20 if you hydrate and think about baseball. But Andy gets to play protector for a change, something Mancini pointedly wanted for the character.
It was more interesting to put the Andy Barclay character on
from
the
victim to
offensive
protector
in this movie rather than the defensive.
Offensive lineman Barkley steals Shelton's top secret map, but by the time he reaches the red camp, Tyler's already gone.
He went AWOL with some guy named Charles.
Wow, the X-Men must really be hurting these days. I mean, what's Tyler's superpower? Being a prude about profanity?
You're a fucking drag, you know that?
Watch your mouth, Charles.
Chucky's designer Kevin Yeager was busy with other projects during Child's Play 3, but he still provided the puppet with some upgrades. He gave Chucky more human eyes and a system that better matched mouth movements to Brad Dourif's dialogue. You can really see the difference in those F-bombs. Before Chucky can drop another one, Tyler cuts him with a pocket knife and makes a run for it. Didn't think the kid had it in him. While he's looking for Tyler, Andy gets found by the blue team, who pretend arrests him for pretend treason. Why would they think someone would want to backstab their own team during a war game? Why would he do that? What would be the benefit? With Whitehurst too cowardly to back up Barkley about the killer doll, his excuse falls on deaf ears. But before they can pretend to execute him, Tyler finds the trial, and Chucky calls collect on a walkie-talkie. The doll has the love interest now. If Andy ever wants De Silva to grope his gun again, he's gonna have to hand over the boy. The blue team agrees to meet at Chucky's spot, and to ensure a very bloody Gulch chronicle, Chucky calls in the red team so they can versus the blue. Hope they don't bring Sheila. Andy takes Tyler to Chucky so he can get De Silva back. As soon as the trade's over, blue team shows up and opens fire. Shelton finally gets a good look at the good guy, and the discovery of a vulgar living doll comes as quite a shock. Not as much as the first bullet in the Battle of
Shelton,
Hill.
you're dead.
Yep, that's not blank Shelton, and it's not sangria coming out of you. As much as Shelton sucked, his death is horrific. Gunned down by a fellow cadet because of Chucky's bullet swap. He's causing PTSD for life! Mancini originally wrote this sequence with a lot more casualties, but in the end, Shelton's the real. Either because of budget reasons, or because it'd be messed up to shoot a bunch of kids. Chucky's enjoying the 21 gun salute so much, he doesn't notice when Andy, Tyler, and De Silva sneak away. Dude, you're trying to get a new body, remember? Focus! Figuring he can leave a couple of older bodies in his wake, he tosses a grenade before he goes. It doesn't secure him a kill streak though, because Whitehurst finally finds his inner courage. He pulls a Captain America and sacrifices his body to the nade. Good going, soldier. You'll get your pecs in heaven. During the chaos, Tyler somehow gets like a 5-mile head start on Andy and De Silva. He arrives at that carnival in the middle of nowhere, which was filmed in Valencia near Six Flags Magic Mountain. Production literally rented a carnival, with actual carnies operating the rides. Mancini thought this third act setting would be a fun contrast with the regimented military academy. A security guard finds Tyler and calms him down with chewing gum from his balloon, cigarette, and gun drawer. When Big Red ain't big enough, he turns to the Lost and Found's doll supply. Andy and De Silva get to the fair just in time for a cameo by producer David Kirshner and his real-life family. They hightail it for the combination security tent / shadow puppet theater to find the fairgrounds guard dead, shot in the head with his own gun. Looking for a place to get his Dumbala on, Chucky steers Tyler into the Devil's Lair, the world's most elaborate carnival haunted house. It's a set piece that is both awesome and ridiculously unbelievable. How's it at this tiny carnival but has an inside bigger than the Haunted Mansion? This impressive ride was conceived of and constructed by production designer Richard Sawyer, who was also responsible for recreating the opening scene's cobweb-covered good guy factory in a space much smaller than they had in Child's Play 2. The Devil's Lair, meanwhile, was built on stage 28 at Universal Studios. This legendary 14,000 square foot space housed original sets from Phantom of the Opera. It was an iconic piece of film history that was a highlight for tour groups, but it was demolished a few years ago so the theme park could expand to include Nintendo World. Damn you, Yoshi! Chucky decides to finish hiding his soul in the gas leak section of the ride, not knowing this coffin would be spring-loaded. Nobody expects the skeletal imposition. Tyler plays chicken with whatever whatever the hell these cars are
Duck!
supposed to be, and hides with another Robo-Ghoul until Andy and De Silva catch up. Throwing discretion out the window, Chucky decides to start busting caps like this were
Duck!
Carnival. Dirty De Silva is feeling lucky, but Chucky proves to be the better marksman despite her training and the fact that he is a doll. Still, he doesn't kill her, which I'm happy about. I hope De Silva shows up in the Chucky TV series. With the only competent shooter down for the count, it's up to Andy to shoot first and ask questions in the sequel. He chases Chucky into a fucking roller coaster room? What is this ride? And why is it still operating? Didn't anyone hear the gunshots? Tyler falls through a piece of scenery right below the Grim Reaper, which puts a nasty Harvey dent in Chucky's face. And still, there are riders enjoying themselves, as though there isn't a maniacal doll on the tracks. Ground Chuck chases Tyler to the top of Skull Mountain by dangling off a winged dragon. Oh, look at those little feet kick. Makes me want to give his whittle cheek a pinch. The one
Please
that
don't, yeah.
look like Sloppy Joe. And he realizes this ride is one big OSHA violation when he sees a giant unshielded fan sitting at the foot of the mountain. God, what is this place? A meat grinder for kids? Chucky gets the drop
might
on
be
Tyler
soon, 'cause
and
heads
puts
up.
this theme park ride into his incantation workstation.
Give me the power I beg of you!
If the incantation had a shorter duration, Charles Lee Ray would be ruling the world by now on this mountain of skulls and the castle of pain, sitting on a throne of blood. And he doesn't have enough guts to scale this aggro crag, so he remembers his sexy gun.
Come on, keep both eyes open. Hold your breath.
He shoots off Chucky's arm just like his mom did long ago, and puts another right through the battery pack. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. Or maybe it doesn't. I don't know how doll-human hybrids work. Andy reaches Tyler, then Chucky lunges on him, knocking Tyler towards the deadly
hold on, Tyler. I got you.
Current victim slips his pocket knife to former victim, which Andy uses to hack off Chucky's other hand. How many times does Andy have to teach you this lesson, doll man? The Chuckster goes flying out of the cuckoo's nest towards the fan. Burp, Charlie, burp! He instead keeps his gas in and, oh my god, straight up fucking explodes! So many guts for such a tiny doll. This finale may not match the creepiness of his charbroiled or Gumby forms, but goddamn if it doesn't take the metal in bits and pieces. In the aftermath, Tyler disappears completely, so Andy and De Silva can flirt one last time.
Are you gonna be okay?
I'll be fine.
Don't worry. I've been here before.
Cool and sad line to go out on as Andy is put in the back of a police car. All right, fun's over, folks. You don't have to go home, but you can't ride the Devil's Lair anymore because there's doll blood all over it. Ugh, Scruffy doesn't need this. Now I hope you're ready for the numbers because presto, we're counting.
Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Ah, yeah, that's right, bitch. This is my show.
I'm in.
8 people died in Child's Play 3, all of them men. Not surprising, given the military school setting. Chucky racked up another 7 kills for himself, an asphyxiation, an explosion with a nade, a throat slit, which will file under bladed kills, 2 miscellaneous, the garbage truck and the heart attack, and finally, his first 2 gun kills. With its 8 deaths, Child's Play 3 ties Part 2 in kill quantity, and with a runtime of 89 minutes, that left us with a kill on average every 11.2 minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill, once again, to Chucky. When watching horror movies, all of us have thought, why don't they chop the killer into pieces? This movie said, we can do that for you. Doll Machete for lamest kill will go to the security guard, killed off screen by his own gun that he probably didn't need at a carnival. And Champion Chuckle for
probably a taser will work.
Go to Chucky's coming out party at Kemp. It's hilarious that Chucky doesn't think twice about swearing at a little kid.
Who the fuck are you?
I thought you guys only said 3 sentences.
I'm
new and approved, baby.
And that's it. Child's Play 3 came out in 1991. Its poor performance put the franchise on ice for 7 years, but it returned in the post-Scream era with Bride of Chucky, which I'll look at next Sunday. Until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been The Kill Count.
Yeah, we'll be covering that as soon as we can. Don't worry, I got plans. Anyway, there you go. Child's Play 3. Let me know what you guys think. Till next time, like, subscribe for more. Good night.